Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we are going to be playing a little Marvel United X-Men. I had been waiting to play my first game on the channel until I got the mat here, which came well after the actual gameplay content. I didn't feel like the mat was necessary in the first time around, and I'm glad I waited, because in the second time around they made it a double-sided mat, and they made it specifically for people who are solo players and people who all sit on the same side of the table. They made it so all the locations face you, which is really nice. Now I'm still going to have to be reaching across quite a large mat here, but otherwise I'm really happy with this mat. But, the yellow color is actually kind of nice. It's a change of pace. You can see on the back side here it is the blue color that the original mat was, and so basically I feel like I got two mats for the price of one. They do have you starting over here, which I guess works. Starting and going this way and going, having to reach over the table early on as opposed to like starting here and going this way. I guess technically you don't have to start there. You could go whichever way you want. But anyways, the first couple ones up there, they even have labeled. I don't know if you can see it, but this says villain, hero, 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 villain, hero, 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 villain, and then it slowly starts to fade to nothing. Anyways, one thing that I did like about it, or a few things that I thought were just nice touches, was they put this, whatever you want to call it, piece that your mission cards sit on and the villain dashboard sits on. That was easily my least favorite piece of card stock in the game, because I felt like it really wasn't that necessary, and a lot of times I didn't even use it because I knew what these three things were. Well, now it's built into the mat, and so I don't have to worry about that. That's super nice. Also, they have a little spot here for your master plan deck, for just the ease of play and me showing things off. I'm actually playing in the solo mode, which is in this version called Professor X's Professor, something about Professor X controlling everyone, or having everyone coordinate. But I did want to try out the Magneto and Mystique as the villain slash good guys. So they're going to be playing as good guys. We're playing against Juggernaut. It is going to be interesting because Juggernaut's all about just knocking the heroes out, knocking them out, and pushing through his master plan deck over here. And so normally that would make playing solo actually pretty hard, because solo you only have 5 cards. They're shared across all 3 heroes. I can play any one I want at a time. But if I ever lose all of these, I'm dead. There's no KOing and coming back. So if he happens to do one of his things where he runs through the board and runs through all 3 of me, I could easily lose 3 cards from my deck. But Wolverine's going to help that. Mystique can help that. So I think I've kind of balanced it out a little bit. The last thing that I just wanted to point out, which is nice, especially since the locations are not in a perfect circle, you can see just very subtle, they've got this arc. So you can see, okay, I go from here to here, and this one connects to here, because they are kind of funky. But if you just follow this line, it clearly shows you how you move around the circle. Okay, beyond that, I'm just going to play so you guys can see the mat in action. There's really not a whole lot else to say about it. It's a mat, but I feel like it's a very functional mat. It's not just for looks. And if you are watching this video and actually have never seen this game in action, I do have a full how to play video back when it was just Marvel United. You feel free to check that one out. But just super fast, we are going to be the villain's going to play a card and he's going to do some bad stuff. Basically, we want to stay away from Juggernaut because he basically smacks some people around. As we run around the board, we need to accomplish at least 2 of these missions, and as we do that, to clear a threat, we basically have to come and knock out one of these cards. And all of them have the same thing. You have to put a heroic ability on it. Then we also have to rescue a certain number of civilians here, or defeat a certain number of thugs. You do all this by simply playing your cards here. And I'm just going to go through my starting hand here, but you can see the symbols on the bottom is the main thing you want to focus on. This being wild. these being heroic symbols, this being a punch action, and a number heroic symbol. So unfortunately, you see here, I don't have any movement, and that's a green arrow. But you basically play the card down, and then you use those symbols to take your actions. So if instead of 2 wilds, this was like a green and a red punch, Wolverine could move to here, and he wouldn't punch a civilian. He could move here and then punch that thug to get rid of it. He would place the thug over here, and once we defeat 9 thugs, we have taken care of that. And as you unlock these, it doesn't matter which order these are in over here. Once you've unlocked the first one, the villain's actually going to activate every 2 cards. But after we unlock the second one, we can now damage the villain. And the third one, we get to draw up our cards, which again, this is kind of our life. Every time we get hit, we have to discard a card. We don't discard it, it goes to the bottom of our deck. If this deck runs out, we lose the game in solo mode. If all 5 of our cards get knocked out of our hand, we lose the game. We basically need to get to the point where we can hit Juggernaut 8 times, and then we win. So that was a very, very fast introduction to the game. It should make sense once we get playing. So you always start with a villain card, and Juggernaut is moving to and bamming. Crimson Cosmo Armor. If an avatar of Sidorak threat cards have been cleared, if any avatar of Sidorak threat cards have been cleared, put one of them back in play in the next clockwise location without a threat. Whew. Which we just started. They're here and here, so we don't have to worry about that. So all that fancy text doesn't really mean anything. And you'll see he's got a direction arrow, so he's going to move clockwise. 1, 2, he's going to come to this location, and he's going to bam. Well, on his card, we look down here, and bam says deal 1 damage to each hero in locations Juggernaut left, entered, and went through. So normally, it doesn't matter as long as you are not in the end location of the villain, but this one you almost want to be like ahead of Juggernaut or on the far side of the map, because if he runs through you, he's still hurting you most likely. But luckily, he didn't catch us. So no damage to anybody. At this point, I get to play 3 hero cards in a row, take 3 actions, and when you play solo mode, you basically mix up 3 hero decks all together, and instead of playing like hero 1, hero 2, hero 3, villain turn, hero 1, hero 2, and having to take like organized turns, I can play any hero card from the 5 in my hand and activate that hero. So we are going to I definitely want to go ahead and get that one out right away. So, yeah. All right, so this is Wolverine's, it's actually his starting card. Starting cards are unique, or came about in the X-Men version of the game. They were not in Marvel United. So you always start with this card for Wolverine, and it says, as long as this card is face up in the storyline, if you have less than 3 cards in hand, at the end of the villain turn, you may draw 1 card. That's crucial for me to survive Juggernaut. Now, I get a single heroic action. So I didn't give myself any movement, which is fine. I just felt like it was necessary to get that card out. So I can take one of these symbols and place it right there. I could have also used my heroic action to rescue that civilian, but I want to get rid of this thing rather quickly here. So, all right. Who else would we like to go? I get to draw a card. And actually, I should have drawn a card when I first started, I believe. So, that's actually better. Alright, so we're going to play another Wolverine card, and you can see that this one simply has a movement action and a heroic action. Now, since this is a cooperative game, I get to use these symbols, just the symbols on the bottom, not the text on top, just the symbols on the bottom from the hero who went before me. And even though it was Wolverine in solo mode, it doesn't matter. I can play all Wolverine cards if I want to. What this means, though, is I get 2 heroic actions. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to spend the other 2 right here and just clear this card away. Boom. That means that this threat has been cleared at the Xavier Institute. All right. Now I have this end of turn effect here. You may draw cards until you have 3 in your hand. So that's a bonus instead of a negative. I'm going to use the other one to, which direction do we want to move? I guess we'll move this direction. All right, so I used all 3 symbols that were available to me. I get to draw a card and go one more time. That's interesting. Mystique has some interesting cards here. I would like to get another movement action so she can move twice and spread us out here. So I think that's what she's going to do. But I really don't want to play that card. Yeah, alright. So she's going to play her double wild, which means I can turn those symbols into anything I want, and the person who goes after me can turn them into whatever they want. So I'm going to use one of them as a move. And, gosh, let's see here. Yeah, so I have one heroic action for certain. I'm going to use one of those to rescue a civilian. I have, and then I'm going to use one of these to clear this thug. So I'm going to use one as a punch. So one of my wilds is a punch, and then a wild as movement, and then the movement from Wolverine. This way I've kind of spread myself out, so no matter which way Juggernaut goes, he's not going to at least run over all 3 of us. Alright, let's see what Juggernaut's doing here. He is moving to and bamming, which unfortunately is the direction we didn't want him to head, but that's fine. Maybe we should know that he's going to move mostly clockwise. So you always go through the cards top to bottom. So you move twice, 1, 2. We already know that his BAM effect hits anybody he goes through and ends his turn on. So at this point I need to discard 2 cards. And they're going to go to the bottom of the deck. And okay, I don't really like this, but I like those 2 Mystique starting cards. So there I have taken 2 damage. So you can see I went from a hand of 5 down to a hand of 3 very, very fast with Juggernaut. Alright, and the last thing his card is showing you for anybody who's new to the game, this simply means this is the location he's in, so he's going to place 2 civilians that need to be rescued in his, and then the 2 adjacent locations are each going to get 1. So I go to my little pile of things here, and we are adding civilians. Now you can see that the location he is in is now full. There's no other squares to be filled, whereas like these 2 locations on either side of them still have empty spaces. That means if we don't rescue and clear up those spaces and he tries to put either a thug or a civilian there, we do this overflow effect, which for him is playing another master plan card. So not good. Alright, but it's back to us. So I get to draw a card and we get to do something here. Now, even though there is a villain card in between us, whoever I play is going to get to use Mystique's 2 wild actions there. And I kind of want to use Magneto to get him moving. Okay. Alright, so we're going to use Magneto with just a single punch. It's not a very good card, but that's fine. So he's got 2 things ahead of him. So what I'm going to do is spend one of them to rescue this civilian here, and then use one of them to move, and then the last one, his punch, is going to be spent on this thug. Okay. Get to draw a card. And obviously, I know that the next card I'm going to draw is Mystique's, and that is just something you can use to your advantage in solo play, kind of knowing who you're going to be drawing next into your hand. Because I really wanted something different from Wolverine, but Wolverine's going to go, so He is, yeah. He's going to spend one of the best cards in his hand, his double wild. But he is simply going to, he's got a double wild and a punch. Which, there's not much he can do with that punch. Unless I use one of my wilds to move. Man. Do I really want to play that card? No, because the other one's just a punch. Yeah. So... let's take one from here, because I really don't want to be in Juggernaut's way. I'm going to use one to move. Do I waste that punch? No. Let's move over here and use the punch here. Okay. At least I alleviated that a little bit. We get one more hero turn here, and it is Mystique. We are going to play one of Mystique's starting cards here. And she's just actually going to stay put. Whoops. This says Metamorph. On the next villain turn, which it's about to be the villain turn, you may redirect any damage dealt to you to a henchman or a thug in your location. So I'm at my location. And so I'm wondering, 1, 2, 3. He'd have to move 3. Do I want to move myself here? No. I'm just going to use my one punch on that thug. I'll stay put. We'll see. We'll see what he does. And then I'm going to use Wolverine's 2 wilds as 2 heroic actions on this card right here. Okay. Oh, wait. I forgot what this text means. If a hero starts their turn at this location, treat any special effects on their cards as blank. So I don't want to play Mystique. Hold on. She is kind of worthless. I got to put this thug back. I don't want to play that card. That ruined my whole plan. Move, punch, punch. Move, punch, punch. I have way too many punches in my hand. Alright, so I am going to play instead Wolverine's double punch card. And he's going to use his 2 wilds to move over here with Mystique and punch these 2 guys. Alright, I had a plan and that threat card just completely ruined it. Okay, so Juggernaut's turn. He is moving 3 and bamming. Oh God. What a pain in my tail. 1, 2, 3. See, I knew it. I kind of felt like he was going to move 3. So that's 2 cards I need to discard. Yeah, we're going to do these 2. So I'm down to 1 card, but have no fear. I can draw back up there, and I can come here and draw. So he moved 3, he bammed, and now he's putting out some more civilians. So 2 in his location. And you might notice there is some like very faint pictures of thugs and civilians in these squares. That's just what you're supposed to start with. And then after that, it doesn't matter what goes in those squares. So I'm using Wolverine's healing factor to draw 1 card. And then since it's my turn now, I get to draw 1 card. All right. Nope, see, I can't use these 2 cards because of the location I'm in. So I guess Wolverine's going. And he's got all these punches that he is not going to be able to do anything with. There's not any more thugs on the board. So he's going to... I'm out of practice here. So he's going to move this one to use his movement, and he's only going to get to use 1 punch. But that's it. But at least he gave Mystique some movement so she can get off that card. Alright, start of my next turn. It is a Mystique card, and it's more punches. I can't use any of these punches. I want all these cards at the end, which I'm not going to get them back, to play against Juggernaut because I got to hit him 8 times. I need heroic actions. So play this? I guess so. So I'm giving up the text on that. I started my turn there, so that text is negative. So I'm getting to move here and put... Actually, I wanted to put that on there before I left. Yeah, I like that. Okay, Magneto. No, more punches. Look at all this ridiculousness. I can't do anything with these punch cards. Okay. All right. Well, at least I can give this to Magneto so he can move next time. So I get that special effect, which just happens to be what the villain's going to place down. I'm going to use her here. Actually, she's going to move back over here. I'm going to try and get rid of this thing soon and put that there. So I didn't start my turn there, so I don't have to deal with that effect. All right, so I'm got to turn this over to Juggernaut here, and if he goes this way, I'm in trouble. Okay, so I'm all right. It says move counterclockwise to the next location with the most heroes. Now, every location has the same number, so I'm assuming he wouldn't move. Unstoppable charge. Deal 1 damage to each hero in Juggernaut's location. All right. And then, so let's do that. Mystique or Magneto, it doesn't matter. These are both punches. So we'll put that back. Mystique takes 1 hit. It's okay, though, because Wolverine gets his healing factor for everybody. Then I'm placing out thugs and civilians, but it says the next master plan card played cannot add blank or bank to your location or 1 or 2 of the adjacent locations. I actually kind of want some thugs out, though. But yeah, so I'm going to say that location where Magneto is does not gain anything. And we'll put that right there. Okay. So, end of my turn, healing factor, I get to draw a card. And now it's my turn. I get to draw a card. So, I am getting a free movement. And now I need those symbols. I should have just let him put out the things. It's what I should have done. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Alright. This is just bogus. Alright. So I want to be able to give my next person movement, but I only want to move once to end my turn there, so that I can, as my end my turn, I can draw a card. And now it's the start of my turn again, so I'm going to draw another one. Alright, finally. This turn you can treat blanks as blanks. Okay, so we may go Magneto right away again. So we're going to do that. And so I can treat one of these as a wild. So I do want to move. Let's go ahead and though no, we're gonna leave this guy here and we're going to move here and rescue this guy. So yeah, that wasn't the best, but that's fine. Alright, so there's a movement there. So Wolverine's going to go. God, I really don't want to move up there, but I can close that out so quickly. But I think we're just going to stay here. So, yeah, I do not like these cards, so I'm going to move here and then put out 2 heroic tokens. There and there. Alright. Did I forget to draw a card? I did, because I should have one more card in my hand. And another double punch. Great. But that was 3 cards, so the villain gets to go again. He's moving 3 and bamming. But he's going the other direction. Ugh. So watch. 1, 2, 3. He's going to hit each one of those guys, so I got to get rid of 2 cards here. He's putting out some thugs, which is actually good. We needed some more thugs out. But, okay, this one can take 2. Thug, thug, thug. And no, overflow effect. So, what this says is deal 1 damage to each hero in Juggernaut's location. Oh, no! Oh, darn it. The overflow effect got me. Well, ladies and gentlemen... I told you Juggernaut was going to be hard in solo play because as soon as I get KO'd, I am done. Healing Factor would have kicked in at the end of the turn, but we were still in his turn, and we weren't doing very well anyways. I was not getting the cards I needed. I had all these punch cards and was wasting symbols on my turn. So, anyways, you can see that this game can be lost. It is possible. But have no fear, we're going to be doing a lot more Marvel United X-Men playthroughs. I'm going to go through all of the expansion content, showing those off. I'm going to try and get some of these miniatures painted. I don't know how quickly that will happen, though, so let me know. Would you rather see the expansion content now without painted miniatures, or would you rather see some painted up miniatures played with? Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, there is a thank you button at the bottom strip next to the like button. And if you are interested in more Marvel United content or any type of content that I provide, please consider subscribing to the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.